Oh my god. I wouldn't be able to take that seriously. Like, I know you're about to murder me, but can you please put your penis away? Hello, brats, and welcome back to another episode of Rainbow Book Rats, a queer romance podcast where four feral rats nerd out about their favorite reads. As always, we're going to be talking about the books we read recently, what's on our book radar at the moment, and then if anybody has any tea to spill, we'll be spilling a little bit of tea. So let's get yapping. I'm JD, my pronouns are they, them, and I have a tattoo of my favorite donuts.
The worst donut.
I'm Kit, he, they, and call me James Bond because I once signed the Official Secrets Act.
Can you tell us about it, or are you going to have to kill us first?
I don't know what that means.
Well, I can't tell you about it on air.
Secrets in the dark. I'm Megan. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, and I know way too much about cryptids to the point where it's kind of embarrassing.
No such thing. I love that.
Nope.
Yay.
I'm Katie, he, her. And I learned that rats can laugh.
We can.
Oh,
yeah. No.
wow.
Little rats. And it's so high pitched that like humans can't hear it, like with our bare ears.
Oh my god.
I just thought that was adorable.
That's the cutest
Yeah.
ever.
That makes me want to kind of cry.
Yes, rats can also cry.
Oh. Yes, as we learned in episode 2.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, usually in this slot we do a how was your week, but since we're coming clean on this episode.
Oh yeah.
We're coming clean.
This is the 6,000th time we've tried recording this.
We're coming dirty.
Megan's coming dirty. The rest of us are coming clean. We tried recording this episode and Megan's track didn't record. So
fucking Steve.
It's fucking Steve's fault. We're sure of that. And we just decided that we didn't want to lose the books that we talked about, so we're gonna do it again, but we didn't want to lie and pretend like it was the first time. So
also we're not super good at pretending, or at least I'm not.
Yeah. No, me either.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
We kind of forgot what happened to us.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't remember what happened when we recorded this the first time. It was so long ago.
Yeah, we only record every 2 weeks, and we record 2 episodes a day, like when we do record. So yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks since we recorded.
Yeah.
And our memories aren't that good.
It's
God, guys,
yeah,
I've been asleep since then.
I don't remember what I did 2 days ago.
So instead of doing a how was our week and what did we do, we've just decided to vomit our gratitude into this section instead.
I love the way you put that.
Yes, because 2 days ago on the 26th, our podcast went live for the first time.
Yay!
And we were all very nervous.
Oh my god, right?
Yeah.
But very excited. And yeah, it just, I don't want to say it went better than we thought it would, but
it did.
We're pleased. We're just very pleased that anyone listened at all. So thank you.
Yes. JD and I were up till 2 a.m. like messaging each other, being like, it's like the night before Christmas. Like,
yeah. Yep. I was there too, but it wasn't 2 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Katie was sleeping soundly in her bed, but yeah, I think I was awake until 3:30 or something.
Same here
that night, which isn't that unusual for me, if I'm being honest. But I have been going to bed early lately because I've had to get up early. to drive my broken husband to work. But but yeah, so we just want to say thank you to everybody for listening, for throwing us your congratulations, and
for commenting and sharing and listening, and like super shout out to everybody who posted specifically about it. Like we sent a handful of authors and other Instagrammers an early version of the podcast of the episode. And so like you guys will have to help me with names because again I'm not great at remembering, but there was Carly
yes, Carly
and Mel,
Renly,
Adrian,
Amrose,
and Lance as well.
yes, Lance.
So thank you everyone for sharing and posting for us, and it was really, really sweet of you to want to do so, and it helped a lot. It really did help a lot.
It really did, yes. And everybody that commented and everybody that messaged us, and like even just people who shared it, was just so grateful.
Yes. Yeah, watching my stories and just seeing people that we hadn't contacted sharing the stuff just because they were excited made me excited and happy.
Yeah. And anyone who just gave us a chance and is giving us a chance now and listening, like, thank you so much.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was one of the busiest days in a long time, but it was one of the best that I've had. So yeah, it meant a lot.
I know it was really fun because it was like it felt like a community event, right? Even though like that kind of sounds egotistical for me to be like we were an event.
It was an event to us.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of work and time went into this whole process. Like it was just an hour recording, but like that hour recording was months of planning and weeks of Discord calls and so many late nights and like so much work into doing this, and it was finally here, and like it's so surreal. It's really exciting. Like we're glad it's out, but it was an event. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also each recording is more like 4 hours for us.
Yeah.
That's because we can't stop laughing.
We laugh and yap way too much, but thanks for enjoying, thanks for loving the worm to penis pipeline. That was a fan favorite.
And then what, his ass got murdered was the other one.
That was number 2 favorite. So
we loved. Yeah, if you guys have any other favorite quotes, we love to hear them. So let us know.
Yep. Let us know.
That was our week. So
that was our week.
It really was.
It really was.
Yes. Let's get into the books that we read
several weeks ago.
Since our recordings of what we read did survive episode 3 curse, we're going to use those in this next section, and then we will be coming back to the present to re-record our book radar section because that part was affected by Megan's internet refusing to let her talk. So yeah, I guess that's all.
Yeah, so that was my week and it was fun. What did you read this week, JD?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? I've been in a little bit of a book slump. It's a book slump realness moment.
The worst.
I know, but I don't know. Whenever I'm in a book slump, these days I just tend to fall back on my favorite book junk food. I say that in a very affectionate way. Which is Becca Vale.
Yes. It's just comforting
and they're just like short and easy reads, and they're usually at least a 4-star. So
and the spice.
Yes, very spicy. Yeah, it's my junk food. So whenever I can't think of what I should read next, I just toss a couple of Becca Vale books in there. So I read the other 2 that I didn't already own. That one was In Flight Entertainment. So
I've read that one.
Oh, you did?
The in-flight entertainment, yeah.
That one was about Wiley and Ferris, and they were on a flight to go back home for the holidays from college. And Ferris is like terrified of flying, and he gets sat next to this like super creeper on the flight instead of sitting next to his brother. And so he's like not only freaking out about the fact that he has to be on a plane, but he also got separated and can't sit next to his brother.
Oh no.
And yeah, there was like crazy turbulence on the flight too. But his brother ended up charming one of the flight attendants by telling her that they were a couple and that they were on their anniversary, and is there any way that she could, you know, get their seats swapped, because he just hated to see his boyfriend freaking out up there with nothing that he could do. And this flight attendant was just like eating it up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, of course I'll help. So she ends up switching their seats so that they can sit next to each other, and, you know, to distract Ferris from the turbulence and being afraid, things happen under the blanket.
Ooh.
Yes.
Can I just say I've never been on a plane where I was offered a blanket.
Same. But I think
Really?
it's because it was an overnight flight, and because he had
yeah.
that flight attendant eating out of the palm of his hand,
You're
that she
probably
just like
right.
brought them one. But yeah, so Wiley is just like very kind of arrogant and self-assured, and Ferris is just kind of like a little anxious bean. So yeah, so Wiley is like, well, I have to do, you know, what I can to make him comfortable, and I think I know what he needs. So and Ferris is like, oh my god, what is happening? Oh my god, why do I like that so much?
I love it.
Yeah, there's very little angst in this one. There's like just a little bit. So Wiley ends up telling him what happens at 30,000 feet stays at 30,000 feet or whatever. And so Ferris is like kind of angsting over the fact that he doesn't think that anything can happen between them like in the real world, because it like just on the plane, like this is just happening on the plane. So that's like the only bit of drama in that book, but it was really cute. I enjoyed that one. So the third one that I read was Morally Gray, and that one is about twins, and one of the twins is a psychopath.
Yes.
And he is very, very possessive of the other twin.
I love it.
Even like towards their parents. So this one, it's not one where they get together because they realize they have feelings. They've been together their entire life.
Ooh.
From the moment that they were born, they were just inseparable. So Gray is the psychopath and Wyatt is the other twin. This is very much a free use situation.
I love free use.
Basically, like Wyatt, to him, like he exists to please Gray. Like that's pretty much it.
Fuck yes.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
yeah,
So, like, when you say free use, is that just to?
just to Gray. Yes. So he's just like ready at all times to do whatever Gray wants.
I love that.
Yes.
Yes.
There's not enough free use. There needs to be more good free use.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, please.
There's cock cage involved as well.
Oh.
So like
Yes.
yeah, and he is barely ever unlocked, which is an interesting point because he exists to please Gray. That is it. So he doesn't get to come like
Oh my
hardly
God.
ever.
And is he
Because-
enjoying this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's very much enjoying it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, he's very much enjoying it. Like it's very, very consensual. All he wants is to please Gray, and he does. So this story is basically about Wyatt getting notes from a stalker. The stalker works at a coffee shop that Wyatt goes to frequently. and he has like been putting notes under the door and like sneaking them into like his stuff, and they say like, I love watching the way you like lick that whipped cream or whatever. They're just like really creepy note about a guy who's just like watching him drink coffee sexually. So Wyatt is getting these notes and he is not telling Gray about it.
Oh no.
Because he knows that Gray is not gonna be happy. And not with him, but with the stalker. And
Yeah.
in their past, any person who has kind of dared to do anything against Wyatt has disappeared.
Oh my god.
He's murdering them.
I went to the farm in the sky.
Yes. And Wyatt has never really questioned it. He's never really asked Gray about it because he knows.
He knows.
He doesn't really mention it. And so he is aware that people tend to disappear when they upset him.
Oh my gosh.
And so he's trying not to tell Gray about this stalker because he doesn't want Gray to get caught. Like his whole thing is that he doesn't want Gray to get caught because he like won't survive without him. And if he goes to jail, like he just can't handle.
What about the murders?
What murder?
He doesn't care about the murder.
It's called morally gray, not I feel bad about the murder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
It's called morally gray. Yeah, so he's trying to keep the knowledge of this away from Gray because he doesn't want Gray to continue killing people for him because he's just afraid that eventually he's going to slip up and get caught. And so he's trying to, not tell him about it. But eventually Gray does find out because he like walks into the room when he's supposed to be in a lecture. They're at college, by the way. Don't know if I said that. But he walks into the room when he's supposed to be in a lecture and sees Wyatt kind of stuffing one of the notes under his notebook. So he does find out about it. Then he takes Wyatt out for coffee the next day.
Oh no.
At the coffee shop, because when he reads the note, he can tell that it's from someone who works there because they're like saying about how he like eats whipped cream or whatever. So they go to the coffee shop and they get drinks, sit down, and Wyatt knows too. He can tell right away that he's like shit, because Gray hasn't told him that he found the note, but he knows. And so they sit down and the barista brings over like a little dish that has like an eclair on it and a little note tucked underneath it. And she's like, oh, this is from your secret admirer. And it's a note from the stalker that says, you should be with me, like your brother is an overpowering presence in your life and you should be mine and blah, 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 just like delusional stalker behavior. Gray sees the note and he's furious. He's seething. And so he automatically kind of figures out who it is just based on the fact that the barista brought it over to the table and he noticed like a guy looking at them from the back. So he's like, I see you. I know it's you. Whatever. So he's like, okay, well, knowledge collected. So he's like, we're leaving. So he grabs Wyatt and basically drags him out of there. And then they go into the alley behind the coffee shop. And Wyatt's like, I'm sorry, Gray. I'm sorry. Like, I know that you saw the note. He's like, yeah, I did see it. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't want you to kill him. I don't want you to get caught. And so they're like having this moment in the alley. And then it leads to Wyatt giving Gray a blowjob in the alley.
As one does.
As one does. And right at the end of said blowjob, the stalker comes around the corner.
Oh, and he doesn't know that they're together.
Yeah. He sees them and he's like, thinks that Gray is like forcing Wyatt to do that. And he's like, oh, how could you do that to your own brother? Blah, blah, blah. And he just like starts going off on them. And then Wyatt's like still on his knees in this like dirty alley. And Gray like pulls back from him. And then Wyatt basically like blinks And then when he like opens his eyes, the guy's dead.
What the fuck?
Gray just snapped his neck.
Oh my god.
Wait, this whole time though, Wyatt's on his knees?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is his penis still out?
That's a really valid question, Katie. Thank you for asking.
This is the important shit.
I think murder would be more difficult to do with your penis out, but not impossible.
I neither have murdered nor do I have a penis, so I don't know.
Flapping around while he murders.
Yeah, same. But I can see the complication, you know? But it wasn't out anymore. Yeah. After he finished, he put himself back in his pants.
Okay.
So while the stalker was yelling at them, basically.
I don't know. That might be like a power move, though, to have your dick out while you're killing someone.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Do the helicopter beforehand.
I'm thinking about what it would sound like. It would be like,
Yeah.
Have you ever heard a helicopter?
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be able to take that seriously. Like, I know you're about to murder me, but can you please put your penis away?
Okay, well, okay. That would have been really funny, I guess, but it wasn't like that.
It's not that kind of book. I'm sorry.
Not that kind of book. Anyway, he kills the stalker in the alley and stuffs him in the dumpster to come back for later and takes Wyatt back home because he always knew that Gray was killing people, but he's never seen him actually do it. So he was pretty shaken by it. So Gray brings Wyatt back to their place and puts him in bed, and then he goes back for the body, and gets rid of it. And you know, he doesn't get caught.
Of course, yeah.
He doesn't get caught, but yeah. So that ends with them fucking, and
them fucking.
yeah. Oh, and Wyatt gets unlocked for that.
Oh, what a treat!
Well, that was nice of him.
Oh, I'm glad they unlocked him.
Lucky him. Yeah, just a little treat for him. Yeah, so yeah, that was another one of those Becca Vale books that kind of have more plot than you would expect.
What a wild ride.
It was like a nice jaunty good time. So
Jaunty good time.
Yeah, it was a jaunty good time. Yeah, so my little junk food reads got me through the week. Yeah, what did you read, Kit?
Yeah, I also had a bit of a book slump week.
No.
But I did read one book that really helped. It was called My Everything by Jayda Marx. It's another daddy boy book, my favourite.
We love.
Yes.
We love.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was one of those low angst books where the daddy just gives the boy all of the love that he never got before.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so the meet cute, they actually have two, right? So Daddy, whose name is Titus, is a bouncer at a nightclub, and he's like really, big, tall, thick.
Yeah.
I think he's like 6'4".
He's a daddy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's like shaved head, bearded.
Oh.
Basically, he looks terrifying. He looks mean, but he's not, right?
Teddy bear.
Yeah, there's a quote in it where it's like, "I know I'm a fighter, but if people would just give me the chance, I could be a lover too, damn it." And it's like, so like he's been really unlucky in love, and the boy Owen has also been quite unlucky in love. He very much likes to wear the makeup, and he likes crop tops and sparkly things, and people have just very much judged him for it. And also the fact that he does like the daddy boy relationship thing. People just haven't given him what he needs.
Sad.
Yeah, so the dates have not gone well for either of them beforehand. So the first meet cute that they have is at the club, and Owen, the boy, is quite a homebody, but his friends have dragged him out, and then he's on the dance floor, and these two guys decide to fight over him.
Oh no!
Over who gets to dance with him, right? Like who does that?
Ugh.
So Daddy Titus, goes to break it up. When he breaks the two guys up, he finds Owen huddled on the floor between them.
No. Oh, baby.
Yeah. So he gets him up and he makes sure he's okay. He has to escort the two men out, and while he does that, he loses sight of Owen. But when he turns back around, Owen is there, and he's like, "I just want to thank you, and also here's some water because I want to make sure you're drinking." It's like, oh, that's so cute.
Oh.
But there's no time to like get each other's numbers and stuff. So they think they're never going to see each other again. And then the next week, Owen is in the supermarket trying to top up his makeup and get his favorite hair gel and stuff. And someone's moved his hair gel to like the top shelf, and like,
No, I hate that.
right? So rude. And
It's hard to be short.
exactly. Owen is like 5'4", I think it was. Like, he's tiny.
Same.
That's not short.
It's okay,
is.
Katie.
I'm 5'3".
I have an idea for bag tongs. So you just put the tongs in your bag, and then you go to the store. And you can't reach off the top.
You know what? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're all pretty short around here, so we could all benefit from some bag tongs.
I need these.
Our first merch idea, bag tongs. Official rainbow brat.
No, that's genius.
And if you don't carry a bag, then you just wear them on your belt, like in a holster.
Yes.
Oh my, yes.
Oh my god, I need that. On a carabiner.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, sorry, Kate,
Yeah.
go on.
So he was like, "Oh god, am I going to have to climb the shelves?" And then this hand just like reached up and grabbed it, and it was Titus.
Daddy.
Yeah,
Daddy to the rescue.
Daddy. So they were like really happy to see each other, and Titus was like, "I'm not letting you leave without asking you on a date."
Yay.
Aw.
So yeah, and like just the whole thing was really cute. They go on loads of different dates. Like they go to dinner, but also they have a day out on the river on a boat that Titus owns. And that's really fun. They take some sexy pictures of each other.
Ooh.
Yeah, they go swimming for a bit. There's a lot of like teasing each other and like getting each other a bit horny through the whole book. And they go on this picnic. It's like a treat that Titus gives Owen whenever he does his chores. Titus rewards Owen with a treat, and it's usually like a date.
Aw.
So yeah, so this one's a picnic. He gets Owen to choose the spot, and like Owen's running around going, "Oh, we could go by the tree, but ew, ants." And he's like, "Oh, we could go by the river, but ew, goose shit." Which like, frankly, yeah, especially because like where there's goose shit, there's usually geese.
Oh yeah, you don't want to mess with that.
Oh, and they're mean.
No, geese are terrifying. Like geese have a vendetta against me, so I get it.
They have a vendetta against humanity.
Yeah.
They really do.
As a whole.
Yep.
Do not fuck with a goose.
No, not fuck with geese. And then he finds a place which personally I would have gone, ew, people. But he was like, there are people, so this is perfect. Fine. So they had this lovely picnic and they got to know each other and they cuddled and there were blankets. It was very cute.
Yay, cuddling.
And then my personal favourite date they had, Owen was really sad. There'd been like some family drama. So Titus was like, why don't you make over daddy?
Aw.
Yeah. So he painted Titus's toenails and then he put makeup on Titus.
Oh my god.
And it was just so cute.
I need to read this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a really great book, all about like accepting all of each other because they've never found anybody who does that for, before.
Yeah.
Like the spice, funny enough, it was kind of vanilla. It's very much like it's not particularly detailed or kinky in the spice. It's more like the relationship itself is the daddy thing. There's a lot of like rules and stuff, and he really wants like his daddy to be making decisions for him. So like when they go out to eat and stuff.
Hard relate.
And just decisions in life.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it was an incredibly really sweet book, and it's really what I needed.
Yay.
Yeah, so I thoroughly recommend. So I know it's the first book in the series, and I believe the second book is also about them.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it'll be a little spicier.
Yeah, maybe.
But it ends on a happily ever after?
But yes, it does end on a happily ever after.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I read this week. What about you, Megan?
I also had a slumpy week. So
Yay.
You're doing so well.
I know, continuing the trend. But I did 2 rereads this week that I want to talk about because I love them. And I couldn't choose between the 2.
That's all the reason you need.
Yep.
Exactly. So the first book that I reread was Cold Hard Cash by KL Hiers.
Yes.
This was a book that JD recommended to me months and months ago.
And I recommend it to all of you as well. Oh my God. It's so good. Sorry, go on.
It's so good. Yes. Especially if you love mafia romances.
Yes.
It is amazing. And I was so surprised because when I posted about it last week, they responded and they said that this was like their first book that they published.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like,
Oh.
dang.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Great for a debut.
No kidding.
Yeah. And they said they want to get back and write more of their story. And I'm like, yes, please.
Yes, please. I will eat it up. I will eat it up. Please.
We are here for it.
Cat, feed me.
It's a mafia romance, like I said. Age gap, which we love. And basically it stars Jimmy Poe, who is another sad boy, as everybody knows. We love a sad boy.
We love a sad boy around here, okay?
Yes, sad boys forever.
Sad boys.
Yes.
So Jimmy Poe's a sad boy, and and his mom was murdered when he was younger, and he witnessed the murder. And his dad was arrested for it and sent to prison. Since he witnessed it, he knows that his dad didn't actually do the murder.
Nope.
So an attempt to try to get his dad out.
So he knows who did.
Well, he saw the person, but he doesn't know who that person was.
And he was a child.
But he knows it wasn't his dad?
Yeah, but he knows it wasn't his dad.
Yeah, he was a child, and the police like didn't take him seriously because they were like, "Oh, you're just traumatized because of you saw your mom get killed." And
yeah,
rude.
Well, and also like the murderer was wearing a white coat, and his dad is a doctor, so you know, a white coat, you know. After his dad goes to prison, he ends up getting adopted by a police detective who is also convinced that his dad was the one that did the murder. And so even though Jimmy's like trying to convince him that it wasn't his dad, the cop just doesn't really believe him.
He does not believe him.
Yeah. And so in order to try to get his dad out of prison, he borrows money from the mafia to be able to pay the legal fees. That all happened before the book starts. So the book starts with Jimmy's like pseudo, I don't know,
He's a little bit of a father figure, but he was really good friends with Jimmy's dad. His name's Emory.
Yeah. So the book starts with Emory telling Jimmy, your debt has been sold and now it's owned by Boss Cold, who is like the new head of the mafia. And he's not going to let you kind of skate by without paying him. He's going to like demand the money now. And Jimmy's just got fired from his job at the grocery store. And he's like, I have $19 to my name or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. Ooh, he fucked.
I know. Well, he's already pawned all of his possessions to Mari. And so he's like, it's fine, I'll talk to him. And Mari's like, listen, I heard he's gay. Just, offer to work off your debts with him.
I heard he let somebody do that one time. Maybe you could try.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. And Jamie's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he gets home and Boss Cold is at his house.
In his living room.
In his living room, lounging on his couch. And he's like, hey, you owe me money. And Jimmy's kind of like, oh, he's kind of fucking hot. Like,
oh god,
maybe I will do it.
He's like, well, actually,
maybe I will. And his enforcer, Jules, yes. So Jules is there too, and Jules literally grabs Jimmy and is taking his hand, about to burn it on like the stove. And oh my god. And then like Jimmy yells out something like, I'll let you fuck me. Like,
well, all right.
Yeah. So he like stops Jules and Cold's like asking like, well, is that what you want? He's like, well, it's what you want, right?
And it doesn't really matter what I want at this point. I want to keep my fingers.
Exactly. Then Boss Cold, or Roderick Legrand is his real name.
Wow.
I know, right?
Love that.
Right? Cold is basically like, we'll do a trial run. I'm not going to buy the cow without tasting the milk.
Oh God, I hate that.
So he tells Jimmy, like, be here tonight at this address and we'll do a test run or whatever. Yeah, so Jimmy shows up and Cold's sitting there behind the desk, can't be bothered. He's just like, okay, take a shower and then sit on the bed. So Jimmy does that. He like takes a shower, he sits on the bed and he's waiting, and then really dirty stuff happens.
Cold warns him. He's like, you don't know what you're about to get into.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll just say, like, there's a toy involved. Bosses. What's up?
What kind of toy?
Just a dildo.
Oh, okay.
Well, so he tells Jimmy to pick out a dildo from the side drawer or whatever. He picks the smallest one, but the smallest one's still 7 inches.
And Cold like laughs at it. He's like,
yeah,
okay.
You know. So that's when you find out, like, Boss is hung.
Huge hog.
Huge hog tag incoming.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a huge hog.
Huge hog tag. And like, he doesn't get undressed at all. He literally just like opens his pants and then is like, look at it. Here it is, you know.
Look at it. Oh my God.
Stare into the one-eyed monster. Be afraid.
And then he basically like proceeds to fuck him into the mattress.
Excellent.
Yes. And then zips up and it tells Jimmy to like take a shower. And Jimmy's like getting ready to go home. And he's like, no, I have you until 5 a.m. You're staying longer in case I want to use you again.
Oh my God.
And then tells Jimmy that he's hired and then proceeds to say, like, I'm giving you a tip, and then to like literally throw dollar bills onto his body.
Oh.
Make it rain.
And Jimmy's this whole time is just, what? He's like, he's so fucked out. He doesn't even register what's happening. And then he's in the shower and he's like, he didn't even kiss me.
Aww.
Poor Jimmy's just getting feelings, and Boss Cold's just like
very cold.
Very cold. Yes, he's very.
He lives up to his name.
The whole book is just told from Jimmy's POV, so you don't really get to see Cold's point of view. I think that it wouldn't be my cup of tea because from most of the book, like maybe 60 or 70% of the book, Cold is kind of cold to Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy, you could tell, starts falling for him fast, and Cold does little things for him that kind of blur the lines between like having a contract and being boyfriends. Like Cold's sister shows up and she takes Jimmy shopping and gets him a new wardrobe, which we love a shopping scene, you know.
Yeah, I do.
He desperately needed it.
Yeah, he desperately needed it. He needs a day job because the sleeping with Cold is just to pay off his debt to the mafia. But he's like, I still need to pay my rent and everything.
And to keep paying the lawyers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets a job singing at one of Cold's clubs. And that becomes a whole fun thing because then he's up there singing and he's singing to Cold. When Cold's watching, he's just entranced.
Oh my God.
It's like so good, you guys.
Yeah. You could tell he's totally falling for Jimmy, but because, surprise, surprise, he's got trauma in his past.
No way.
He's like, I was owned once and no one's going to own me again.
Aww.
But towards the end, you know, he softens up. And then book 2 is just
so
good. It's just like, it's finally seeing him be completely gone for Jimmy, but also still they have a very dom sub relationship in the bedroom. Jimmy calls him sir, and then Cold calls Jimmy
Mr. Poe.
Yeah.
It's fucking hot.
It is. It's really hot. Here are my kink tags for the book. It's cum play, dirty talk, breath play, degradation, dub con, face fucking, fingering, impact play, O control, objectification, power exchange, rough fuck, sex contract, spanking, free use, toys, restraints, cock ring, desk sex, biting, bondage, edging, marking.
Oh my, everything.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hand collar, hands free. He puts a gag in at one point. He's got handcuffs. There's whimpering. There's felching.
Oh, I love whimpering. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
There's boot licking, baby.
Your favorite.
Feet mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Foot stuff.
Yes, it was like KL was like, "Well, this is my first. I'm just gonna put it all in there for you."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And they did, and it was glorious.
It was.
I have a question. So I know you said he's very cold, but is there aftercare?
First 2 scenes he doesn't, but he always spends the night. He never kicks Jimmy out, and he always sleeps in the bed with him. So
Okay.
there is a little bit of that. It's not like he's just like fucks him and then kicks him out and then ignores him. Like, I think even the first night that they're together, Jimmy points out that he has a memory of feeling like his arm around cold as they sleep.
Yeah.
And then he orders Jimmy breakfast in the morning. He literally orders
big breakfast.
Yeah, orders like everything off of the menu to be delivered to the hotel room. So there's aftercare in that sense, but not in the sense of like he's gonna cuddle.
Yeah.
Because he's very cold as touch averse. He doesn't like people touching him without permission.
When they get deeper into the relationship, do they or no? Is that sort of a constant for him that he's not much of a
As long as he feels comfortable with you and you ask permission, he's fine with it. They don't have their first kiss though until like 75% into the book.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's epic.
But it is epic, yeah. It's so, like I said, he's not cruel. He's cold, but he's not cruel. Like, basically is what it is.
Yeah.
And like he does start doing more aftercare. Like, I think the third time they sleep together, he like cleans up Jimmy, and then like there is a scene where they take a bath together.
Yes, I love that scene.
Yes, it's so good. He hadn't even seen Cold naked yet.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, in that scene you find out.
Yeah, because he always left his clothes on.
Yeah.
Was that like a power thing or?
It's a trauma thing.
Yeah.
But he's covered in scars.
I have this on my TBR.
It has a scene where literally Cold goes on a rampage to save Jimmy.
Yes.
I love that. I always eat that up.
Yes.
I know.
So good.
Yes. And even though it's got all this like sex and kink, they do a great job of balancing the plot with the kink.
Very cohesive.
Exactly.
I feel like that's true of all of KL Hiers' books.
Yes.
Agree. Yeah.
They do so good at that.
Their writing is just like
Yep.
it's just perfect. I don't know. They're one of my favorite authors to read. I'm never disappointed with any of their books.
Yeah. Auto read. That was my week. Katie, what about you?
So I only read 2 books, and I literally finished the second book last night at like 11 p.m. I'm like, I gotta finish for tomorrow. I didn't want to disappoint.
You could never.
The last books I read, Married to the Mobster by Leighton Greene.
Woo!
Yes.
Wait, not outside my normal, but like a little bit, because I'm very much like a cozy, sweet, kinky, like soft book. I'm not a dark mafia kind of reader.
Yeah.
3 guesses who got Katie to read that one.
It was so fun though. Like when I was reading it, I would be like up just messaging JD like, oh my god.
I loved it so much. I love making people read that book.
It was a great time. So the book is about Luca and Finch, and like it starts off with Finch like at a club, and he comes off as just like a young party boy, clubbing, drinking drugs,
big time.
Yeah. And he loves just to go and like hook up, move on, no worries, no strings, no nothing. But then he meets Luca at like a club, and he's like immediately like really drawn to him, and they're kind of like, flirting or whatever. But then Luca just like fucks off. And he finds him in an alley later that night, having been beaten and like shot, I think, right? Stabbed. He ends up saving Luca's life. He takes him back to his hotel, his fancy like New York hotel, stitches his arm up, and then despite having just been like on the brink of death, Luca's like, you know what? Let's have sex. So they do like
let's fucking go.
I haven't lost enough blood. It's fine.
Yeah. I have just enough for an erection. They end up having like a one night stand, and it's like immediately Finch is just like, you know what? This man, like I'm obsessed.
Yep, he rocks Finch's world.
Yeah. I don't remember. I didn't use the huge hog tag for this book, but I could be wrong.
I don't think it's big, but it's not huge hog worthy.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Okay, it's pretty normal. Okay, that's fine. But then like immediately we get a time jump 5 years later. And like one thing you find out is, so Finch's dad, who's super absent, not in his life, really just kind of sent him off to like boarding schools, and it's kind of a jerk. He's like head of like the Irish mafia, but when Finch was a kid, he witnessed his mother's murder.
Ooh.
And ever since his mom passed, his dad was like I don't want anything to do with this kid, and kind of also really step back from the whole mob stuff. So, like, as far as Finch knows, like, his family's not really, like, in the mob anymore, and his family's just rich. That's how it seemed to me. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
they kind of pulled back from it, and we're trying not to really be in it anymore, but the fingers were still a little bit dipped in.
Yeah. I mean, once you're in, I feel like it's kind of like,
Yeah.
that's not one of those things you're just like, all right, well, I'm done with this for now.
Bye-bye, Mafia.
Yeah. So Luca is now not a capo, but he's just like he's like an enforcer, I guess, in the mafia for a family. He does not like the family he works for, though. Like the overall family. So there's like the head family, and then there's like the smaller groups within. Listen, don't come to me for knowledge on how mafia families work.
Sounds like something a mafia would say.
So he's not a fan of the dude he works for. He doesn't respect him, but he but he respects like the big honcho, the
boss,
big daddy.
The big daddy.
The big mafia daddy. So he's like ordered to kidnap this kid and like essentially kill him to send a message to this Irish mob family. And they kidnap the kid, shows up at a warehouse, and who is it? It's freaking Finch. And he's
my god,
it's Finch.
He's like, oh my gosh, I can't kill this kid. And so
sure you can.
They end up going to like the big mafia daddy, and it's like a marriage of convenience, or arranged marriage, I guess, kind of like a forced marriage.
I was gonna say Luca was just as taken with Finch as Finch was with Luca all those years before. And when he sees him, like when they pull the bag off and it's Finch, he's like, I can't do this. And so when they go to the boss, Luca basically tells him that like he has a life debt towards Finch because Finch saved his life those years ago.
Yeah.
And so he can't kill him because he has a life debt for him. And so then Tino's like, okay, well, we can't let him go either because
yeah.
Now he knows stuff, so you're gonna marry him,
and you're gonna treat him well.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, Luca, even though he does have feelings for Finch and he cares about him, he's like, I can't let anyone know how I feel. I can't even let him know how I feel, because the second people know that I really care for him, he's a target. He's going to be killed. I can't have that happen. And so it's this really frustrating, like, kind of push and pull, because he cares, but then obviously they're married. They go on a honeymoon. Tino, big mafia daddy, sends them on like a cruise for like a month or something, or a couple of weeks. And they get to go on this like fancy cruise. And while they're on their cruise, he like makes them sleep in separate beds, and he's like, we're not going to be touching. And that doesn't last.
No. So I had started reading this before JD and I became friends, and I DNF'd it at this part because I was like, nah, fuck this. Like,
he was being a shithead.
Yeah.
And also because you find out that Finch was lusting after him the entire time too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is so mean. But then JD was like, nah, Megan, you're almost there. Just keep going. You know?
Yeah, I was like, please get back in there. Get back in there, soldier. Come on.
I will say, yeah, if you're reading this book and you get to the honeymoon part and you're like, what the hell? Like, why are you being such a dick?
Yeah.
Keep on reading.
Yeah.
It is
keep going. Please keep going.
It is really frustrating because there is so much of that. Luca likes him and Luca's sleeping with him, but then Luca kind of pushes him away and isn't mean, but isn't super nice.
Yeah, it's push and pull.
Yeah, he has those possessive moments of that's my husband kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I really like that. I'm a big fan. And it is sort of slow burn in that obviously they're together, but the slow burn is for once the feelings are out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Emotional slow burn.
Emotional slow burn, yes. But so there's like a lot that happens. I don't want to ruin the whole plot because there's a lot of drama going on in the mafia family, and there's going to be like an uprising, and
it gets wild.
Kind of a mystery, which I was so proud of myself. I get a gold star. I guessed what was going to happen.
Ooh.
I was messaging JD. I'm like, oh, I know what's happening. And I didn't think I was right. And then JD's like, yep, you called it.
Good job.
Got it. Nailed it.
Oh, I so did not.
Me either.
I messaged them and I was like, oh my God, I love this person. And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, what the fuck just happened? What was that? Didn't happen? No. Like
Oh my gosh. It's funny. There's a lot that goes on. It does end with them together and having like an open, like not open relationship, but like open communication between the two of them. Finally, one thing I love though is so Luca was raised really poor, not fancy. He's coming from nothing. Where Finch is the opposite. Like he was raised finest things that money could buy, fancy cars, drinking. Like he's used to luxury. And so when they reconnect 5 years later, Luke is wearing like just the worst outfits, like
Men's Warehouse or
just like really
like a cheap suit that he's trying to like make look expensive, but Finch sees right through it and he's like, nah, not my king.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's Armani.
It's like, no, it's not.
Finch is like, it's for sure not.
It is.
I love how often that Finch is just like, that suit's horrible. That suit's terrible.
Oh yeah. Finch has like a one-person campaign against every suit that Luca ever wears.
And rightfully so, because he just wants his man to look the part, you know? He wants him to be king of the city, and you gotta look like you are.
Yeah. I do love that. So the whole time Finch is like trying to uplift him, like really trying to help him be the best mobster that he can be. Like he's really standing by his man. Yeah.
I'm just hearing Michael Ferriolo's like Finch voice in my head saying like, you could rule the city, baby. Like with that with the accent.
Yes.
I do love the audio.
Yes.
It's so good. The audio is so good.
I actually checked out the second book. So it's a series, the Morelli family series, and books 1 and 2, and then I think 6 are this couple. And then the other books are other couples connected.
And they're all so good.
But Married to the Mobster was really fun. I loved the spice because so Finch is like super bratty, bossy, like, but also kind of like a pillow princess. I don't know how to explain. Like,
yeah, a little bit
of a mix. But there's this part where he's just like, they were like arguing or something, and Finch is just like, eat my ass to make up for it or whatever. It's so funny.
And Luca
also
does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of eating in this book. It was so good.
Yes.
But hidden feelings, miscommunication, mobster, you get all of it, and it was a wild ride and I loved it.
Good. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it.
Yes. Hey lovelies. Editing Megan here. How you guys doing? You doing okay? Enjoying that Audible sale? Getting lots of good audiobooks? I know I am. Anyway, as you have heard by now, this is the cursed episode. And what that means is it was a pain in the ass to edit and put together and record and just generally just to get it out to you guys. But the authors and the books that we talked about in this episode were so important to us that we didn't abandon it. So, that being said, there are a number of audio issues that normally wouldn't pass my scrutiny, but I did my best I could with this, and sometimes you're going to hear echoes, and sometimes you're going to hear beeping, and sometimes you're going to hear, I don't know, just stuff in the background, and I tried my best to get it out, and, you know, wasn't able to every time. Just wanted to let you guys know that this is not going to be our standard for episodes moving forward. Obviously, we're going to do better about everything like that. So, and if you don't notice them, thank you. If you do notice them, sorry. Thank you. How do I end this? Wait. So Katie just told me that the Audible sale ends before this episode goes live. So I hope that you did enjoy that Audible sale. Okay, bye.
Okay, so moving on to our book radars. I have a couple today. The first one that I have is a book that's actually out already, so you can go read it if you want to. This one is Dead Nights by Crea Reitan. And it is an MMMM.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Many M's.
It's a poly romance.
Yes, it's
Yes,
a poly
we love
romance.
Yes.
Some of the things that were on the graphics that I've seen were Broken Boys, which
yeah, I love.
you know,
We love the Broken
we love
Boys.
a Broken Boy.
I don't know why I sang that.
Because some things need to be sung. Yeah. One of the things on there was Secret Society.
Ooh.
Oh,
And it has ghosts.
Hell yes. Ghost.
There was also a quote that said "more dead than living." It's on like a
Remote Island?
remote. Yes, thank you. It's on like a remote island. I think it's like a haunted island.
oh,
Yeah, it sounds super intriguing. Forced proximity, stormed in was the reason for that. And then it's like a hookups to lovers. And then one of the other quotes that I found intriguing was intruders with knives.
Oh, hell
Yeah, so I don't know. It's giving good vibes.
yeah.
I don't know
Yes,
what's up
yes.
with that one, but it's giving good vibes. So I think I'm gonna have to read that.
Oh yeah.
It's really
Is that going to
good.
be too scary?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Good.
I don't think Crea writes like really scary things. I think it's gonna be more of like a mystery.
Ooh.
But maybe I'll read some reviews before I go because I'm just a baby.
I'll read it with you, and then
Okay, and you read faster than me, so you can warn me. Yeah, so that one sounds really good. And then the other one that I have is very exciting for me, and I mean, I guess for you guys too, probably for everyone, but I'm very, very excited. It's a new Chloe Archer book, and it is in a new series that just got announced that is about ghost hunters. And it has so many authors involved that we all love. I'm so excited.
I love ghosts, and I love these authors.
Yes, Megan loves ghosts.
yeah.
So this is entirely for them.
They wrote it all for me.
It's all for you. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about Chloe Archer's today, and then I'm assuming that we're going to talk about the other books in more episodes.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
I don't think we'll be able to help ourselves. It's just too exciting. So the series is starting like from September through October. I think through like Halloween is like the last release.
Yeah.
This one is coming out October 15th, according to Goodreads, and it's called Shake Your Boo Thang.
Great name.
Yes, it is about a haunted former underground gay nightclub that burned down.
Oh my gosh.
There is a gym that was built on top of it, I guess, and the customers are complaining about flickering lights, music that they can't stop, and it's like ABBA and like the Bee Gees disco music
Oh my god.
at really, really loud volumes.
I'm so here for this.
Yeah, and then one of the things that it also said customers were complaining about was ectoplasm facials. So
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, we all know that ectoplasm is basically ghost cum. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's about a former detective turned ghost hunter and a podcaster, and it's located in West End, London.
Excellent.
I don't know where that is. What's that mean?
It's like the Broadway
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of London.
I think I knew that.
Yeah, because we just talked about it. 'cause
Yeah, we literally.
I was like, wait. Now that you're saying that,
bringing it back around.
goldfish memory.
It all connects.
I'm so excited because I think it's going to be, I don't know, Chloe does such a good job.
We love Chloe.
Oh, yes, love Chloe so much. She just does such a good job with pop culture references. Even in books that I've read of hers in the past, even pop culture references that I didn't really get because I didn't watch those things, I thought they were really funny. I'm sure if you had watched them, you would have loved it even more. I don't know. She just does a really good job of that.
I did watch. Yeah, I watched everything that she talked about. Is it Tentacular Tales?
Tentacular Tales. Yeah, there were so many there.
Oh, I've got that on my TBR.
Yeah, all of those references were like hit home for me. It was like Doctor Who, Star
Yes.
Trek, Star Wars,
Princess Bride.
Yes.
Princess Bride.
Dang, everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the important question:
Mm-hmm.
do we think there are going to be ghost tentacles?
Oh.
You know, I want to say no, because I don't think this detective or this podcaster are in any way tentacled. Maybe some of the ghosts would have tentacles, but I don't think we're gonna get sexy tentacles from Chloe this time. But hey,
That's fair.
I'll be happy to be wrong.
Yeah. And we'll be happy whatever.
We'll be happy, whatever.
Yes, I'll be happy to be wrong, happy to be right, just happy to be reading another Chloe Archer book.
Yes, exactly.
I've only read the 2 Chloe Archer books, the ones you recommended.
Oh,
The
Monster Hollow series.
yes,
yeah.
I really like those books.
They're so like low angst and just cozy.
They're so good. I love them too. I'm so excited for the new one.
Yes, the little town and like I want to go back.
It's Monster Hollow.
And Greg Boudreau. Shout out to the audio narrator.
I need to listen
Yes.
to the audios.
They're good.
I feel like every episode is me saying, "Oh, I should listen to those in audio." Somebody make me do it, please. Now I need to listen to the Vampire's Mates and Monsters Hollow.
Yep.
Oh, my pile is getting high. But yeah, anyway, those are mine. I'm very excited for both of them. What do you have, Kit?
I've got 2 that I'm really excited about as well. The first one is called Violent Devotion by L. Norell. It's a debut, so congratulations. Ooh. This is a mafia book.
Yes.
We've got...
Yay!
I know, right? We do love our mafia. We've got the ruthless Russian mafia enforcer who is completely numb to all of his feelings. But he's almost killed one night, except he's saved by the guarded veterinarian. And I love MCs who work with animals, so I'm really excited about this. Yeah. So, like, obviously, this random guy saved his life, so the mafia guy just becomes obsessed with him. And, you know, just a little bit of stalking.
I love a little, like, light stalking.
Right?
I love a lot of little...
Nothing wrong with a little light stalking.
What about a lot of heavy stalking, too?
Yeah, we can also do that.
We could also do that.
It seems like the vet, he doesn't mind too much. From what I can gather, he basically goes, a red flag parade for me?
Let me get my chair.
Yeah. They're both touch-starved. Love a touch-starved boy. So it's soft only for you, but it's also, and this was like specifically in the marketing, it's adorable only for you.
Oh no, stop it.
It doesn't even matter who it is, which one it is. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And there's like breaking in to nap in his bed. Oh, it's going to be so cute.
Stop it right now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's going to be really good. There's going to be dark humor in it.
Yes.
Breathe in his direction wrong and die. It's going to be fantastic, I think.
Sign me up.
Yeah. That's coming out the 24th of April. Cannot wait. And then the other one that I've got is Shadow Prince by S. Rodman.
Yeah.
This is the start of a new series. It's probably going to be quite a low angst series, which is
different for them.
Different from what, Says normally writes quite dark, dubcon kind of stuff. Really good though.
Yes.
Says' spice is usually off the charts.
Oh, it's top tier.
But this, right, I've got to read you the tagline, okay, and the first bit of the blurb, because it's just, yeah. Right, okay, ready?
Let's go.
Nightmare to love a romance. What if your childhood bogeyman turned out to be real and a real pain in the arse?
What?
Literally.
Apparently, the monster under my bed imprinted on me as a child, like a baby duck. A 6-foot, insufferably hot, made of shadow baby duck.
Oh my god.
All right.
Gimme.
Right? I need this now.
I
I'm
need it.
crying. It's so good.
Right? So, like, from what I can gather, the monster used to feed on, like, nightmares, but now he needs to feed on, like, sexual energy.
It's like a sexy Monsters Inc.
Right?
I mean, isn't Monsters Inc. already kind of sexy?
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry for the image that invoked.
Sexy Monsters Inc. So yeah, and apparently the bogeyman has a filthy mouth, so I
fuck
can't
yes.
wait for that.
What is this book called?
Shadow Prince.
Oh, I need it.
Katie's got her notebook out.
Yeah, writing it down.
I'm on Goodreads right now.
Yes, don't worry to anyone who's listening and doesn't have a notebook. We will be putting all of these in our post.
Yeah.
So don't worry. We will have it for you on a platter.
So yes, this is April 14th. It should be really good. There's going to be 6 books in total in the series, but each one gets an HEA. So I think they're going to be intercollector standalones.
Yeah.
So
Oh, this is gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
yeah, I'm so excited. So yeah, that's me basically.
Yay.
Megan, what about you?
Okay, I have a few. The first one that I have on my list is one of I'm currently arc reading. It's called Wish We Were Here by Risa Cruz. And it will be out on 4/20. Blaze it.
Other drugs are available.
And so it's a 90s nostalgia road trip romance with caretaking and a bi-reawakening. Obviously forced proximity because it's a road trip. Strangers to lovers, only one bed. And so basically it's Ash. Basically he's running from his past. He has epilepsy. He's never left his home of Providence, Rhode Island. Shout out to Rhode Island. And he's a sex worker. Ash overhears Sam at a bar telling the bartender that he's got to drive back to Miami because poor old Sam got dumped by his girlfriend and that he drove all the way up north to meet and surprise and she dumped him. So I know, right?
That's a bummer.
So yeah, he's basically telling the bartender he's got to drive back home to Miami. Ash overhears and is like, if you take me with you, I will pay your way.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sam is like, you know what? Yeah, I was going to have to just sleep in my car. Sure, I'll bring this kid with me. But then, shortly after he agrees, he starts noticing Ash is kind of withdrawn and he suspects that Ash has been unhoused and going through some stuff. So it's going to be caretakey, got lots of cuddles, got high heat. So it's got roadhead and skinny dipping.
I love a road trip book.
Me too.
Right? I just do. There's so many good ones.
Exactly. And as soon as I saw that the arcs open for this, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna sign up for this one too.
Your pile grows and grows.
God, it's so out of control. So that one comes out on 4/20. Highly recommend. And then the next one I have is another arc reading one. Another arc reading. It's Lockstep by C.T. Whistle, which we all know I love this Omegaverse Case Files series, coming out on April 16th. And this is book 3 in the series. This one is an alpha pairing.
Ooh.
Yes.
Love it. And one of the tags for the promotions was oops, they touch knots during a threesome.
Oh, I'm so here for that.
Yeah. So it's Taylor and Johnny, and they have been best friends their entire lives. And they both went to school together, went to academy together. They worked together. They're just their entire lives are just intertwined. And so I have a feeling it's going to have a touch of idiots to lovers because one of them has been in love with the other one for 14 years.
Oh no.
Yeah, so there's gonna be pining and but they're really codependent on each other. And there was a scene at the beginning that was really sweet where Taylor, who is I think he's okay. Blah, blah, blah. So it's Taylor. So Taylor seems like the more unhinged one. He's got ADHD and he undiagnosed ADHD, and he has trouble kind of regulating his emotions sometimes. So in the beginning of the book, there's something that happens that kind of causes him to have trouble regulating his emotions. And so he's about to basically shift because it's a shifter Omegaverse. So he's about to shift in the police place.
Station.
Thank you. At the police station, and Johnny kind of starts to notice the signs. Johnny then pulls out a handful of nail polish and some beads, and he's like, okay, are we doing nail polish or are we making bracelets?
Oh my god.
So it's really cute because they'll either paint nails or they'll make bracelets to kind of help regulate Taylor's emotions that way.
I love that.
Yeah. It is a slow burn, but you got a lot of cute moments leading up to it. And along the way, they're solving a mystery of this small town. And then knitting needles which comes out on June 1st, and this is by Ezra Wren. It's a T for T, found family romance, kind of cozy. It stars Oscar and Aaron, and they meet at a gender clinic the morning of their top surgeries. Yes, I know. I don't think I've ever read one that has that kind of meet cute.
No.
So they meet at the clinic and then kind of lose touch over a few weeks. But then Aaron's managed to track down Oscar on a gaming server, and then they start texting, and it kind of becomes like a cozy going on dates. Obviously,
yay! Pancake day! I'm so excited for this one. It looks so cozy and cute.
It does. Yeah, you were the one that showed me this, and I was like, oh yes, please, right now.
Yeah.
I absolutely have to read this. It sounds so good.
Do they have knitting dates because of the name of the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
They're knitting dates, yes. And yeah, they're both cinnamon rolls, so we love that.
We love a cinnamon roll.
I know we do.
Supposedly there's like a lot of healing, and then they've got like a found family full of queer friends.
Yay.
Which,
Yes.
I love a queer found family. So yeah, that's June 1st. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is Suck by E.M. Lindsey and Cora Rose.
Yes.
Yes. As you guys know, we love this pairing.
Love so much.
So this is a smutty monster romance.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's coming out May 8th. I guess it started off as a novella, and now they're like kind of turning it into a full-fledged book, according to what I read in the reviews. Our star is Everest, who's kind of a clueless human. And in the world, these portals appear, and monsters start coming through. And like, the world is like, oh, we got to attack, we're going to go to war. But really, they just are looking for humans to do sex things with.
It's like horny monstrous. More horny monstrous.
like they're just upfront about the horny from the beginning.
One of the things about this book, though, is like, I'm doing it to save humanity or something.
Yeah, that's literally one of the taglines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Some of the tropes are obviously monster romance, sucking and swooning, cuddling, body piercings. Yes.
Yeah.
Secret romance, monster peen.
Yes.
We love the monster peen. Antagonists to lovers, and then it's got banter, and it's supposedly kinky as hell. So
I'm so excited.
Excellent.
yes,
I'm so excited.
that's all for me. But
Yay.
yes, that one comes out April 8th.
Also, so
Awesome.
soon.
What about you, Katie?
The books I have on my radar are all technically out already. I just sort of wanted to like remind people and just give them extra shout outs because I really like them. So Enchanted by Envy by Nick Knight came out March 12th. It came out some time ago. It's Zeph and Bryce, and Zeph works at the cafe, and Bryce is coming to Purgatory through like a work program so he can work with like animals and stuff in the Hell Dimension. It is so sweet and soft, and you've got like queer found family. And there is like cuddling in this book. So Zeph is touch-averse. They're also arrow ace, like, and they don't have sex at all. There's no sex in this book, but it is so, oh my gosh. So it's just their romance, and first their friendship, and then their very slow burn, very sweet romance. But it's also so funny. Like, it's not all sweet and soft and stuff. Like, it's a hilarious book.
Well, Nick writes humor really well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Bryce comes to stay in Purgatory, and he moves in with Zeph as Zeph's new roommate. And it's them like navigating having a new roommate. Zeph's a little particular and likes things the way that they like things. Like, they have a mug system, which I just love.
Oh my god. I mean,
I relate.
Yeah. I was telling you guys about my glass, right?
I have a very specific way. I put mugs away in the cabinet, and I get really annoyed when other people put mugs away because they'll be like, "There's not enough space," but there is enough space if you do it right.
You put the big ones on the top shelf, and you put the smaller ones on the bottom shelf, and stack them.
Everything has a place, and if you're not doing it right, just don't do it at all.
Exactly. I have a mug tree for my larger ones, and the larger ones go on that mug tree. Like,
anyway, so it's a really sweet book. I really love it. Go read it. And then the other book I wanted to mention is A Daddy for Cooper, which came out March 18th.
Yes.
yay!
I am very normal about this book.
That's by Emory Winters. It's technically book 2 in the series. So the first book is A Dead Mate for Dylan, and Dylan is Cooper's younger brother. But so this book, it picks up, I guess in the middle. They're still getting together in A Dead Mate for Dylan. But anyway, so Cooper and Patrick, Daddy. He owns the local cafe diner.
Waffles.
Yes, waffles. He goes to like a kink club because Cooper's an alpha and he's only attracted to alphas, which in this universe, that's sort of the equivalent of like being gay. And he's not out to anyone. He hasn't told his family, his friend, no one. And so he goes to like a club and you get like the bracelets, like alpha seeking alpha. And he runs into Patrick, who kind of saves him from an unpleasant person.
Creepy guy.
I love that trope.
Oh, yes.
The savior.
Yeah, the Dom savior specifically at like a kink club. Like when that happens, it's like, yes.
Yeah. But so he saves him and he agrees to do one scene with Cooper because you can kind of see that like he needs somebody. He needs a daddy.
Also because Patrick is like really attracted to Cooper, but he's really heartbroken, so he doesn't want an actual relationship.
Yeah, there's a lot of heartbreak. Patrick had a really devastating relationship end. He had his own partner and was cheated on, and it was just like really like a huge emotional blow for him, and he hasn't recovered.
Broken daddy.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm not dating, but I'll do a scene with you, and that's it. Like there's no strings, we're not anything.
Yeah, we can't do this again.
Yeah, one and done. And then proceeds to have the hottest scene.
Oh my god, yes.
It's like the second chapter. It was in my Kindle lit on fire. It was insane.
Right?
It was so good. Like their chemistry immediately is perfect, and Patrick is able to read Cooper so well. Like he knows exactly what he needs, and just everything was really good. The communication. There isn't a lot of aftercare in the very beginning, like because they do a scene, like he does check in with him, but then they're nothing, like they're not together, they go their separate ways. Cooper's just like, he's a sweet needy boy, like he needs a daddy so bad.
I'm so scared to read this because that dynamic in books makes me cry, like when it's
like, but it's so good, it's so worth it.
I know.
So let me tell you, he's lonely, he's so lonely, and it breaks my heart because like his best friend is Axel. And Axel is who Dylan is with. And so now his best friend is dating his brother, and he feels like he doesn't really have his person anymore because like Axel was his person. And so one thing he does, he's not an Omega, but he likes building nests to comfort himself.
Oh my god.
I know.
I love it so much.
I'm not going to spoil the whole book, but a lot of stuff happens. At one point in the book, he is really upset over his relationship with Patrick, and he's finally kind of confessed to being into alphas to his friend Axel, and he has Axel come over, and like Axel, his best friend, like comforts him and lays in the nest with him, and just like is such a good friend, and like gives him cuddles, but it's like very platonic. There's no like cheating or anything like that. One of my favorite things in a book is when there's scenes like that with friends, platonic.
When you cuddle with your friends or affectionate with your friends. Platonic affection.
I loved it. I thought it was so sweet.
Cuddle more with your friends, people.
Yeah.
But it was such a good like show of support. Axel never was like, oh, that's really weird, I don't want to cuddle you or anything like that. He was just like, my friend needs support and I'm going to be there for them. It was just really sweet. I loved every moment of that book. I already want to read it again. Go check him out.
Maybe I'll have you read it with me so you can be my emotional support.
So it'll make you cry. You're going to cry, Megan.
I'll cry at everything, but yeah. I know the specific triggers I have for crying.
Yeah. And I hope we get a third book in this series because Patrick has a friend and I want his friend to get a book. I just like this town. I love the dynamics of the characters. I like the way Emory write a Megaverse. I want 1,000 more. And that's all I have.
So that's all for this week, brats. We are going to be scurrying back to our book nests now, you know. Until next time, you can find us on Instagram at Rainbow Book Rats, Or join our Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive content, including uncut episodes for all of our extra rat nonsense. And as always, email us any questions or comments that you have at rainbow.book.rats@gmail.com. Yeah, that's it for us. Have a great day and stay feral.
I love you.
Bye. Bye.